Hello everyone. It is Friday, 4 p.m. Welcome to ET Government Chai Pe Charcha. I am Arpit Gupta. Chai Pe Charcha is an interactive program with bureaucrats and high-end achievers in diverse fields. The high-impact live video show highlights the journey into professional life and likes and dislikes in their career apart from their contribution towards the society and nation building, besides accomplishments. Each week, we present a new guest and discuss interesting topics that matter. On behalf of ET Government, the Economic Times, I welcome Dr. Hira Lal, Additional Mission Director, National Health Mission, Uttar Pradesh, and Additional Project Director, UP State AIDS Control Society, Government of Uttar Pradesh, as our esteemed guest for Chai Pe Charcha this week. It is indeed a great pleasure to meet you and have you on today's show, Dr. Hira Lal.
Thank you. Shukriya. Dhanyawad. Thank you.
Let me share with our viewers, Dr. Hira Lal is a 2010 batch IS officer and currently serving as the Additional Mission Director in the National Health Mission, Uttar Pradesh, and Additional Project Director, UP State AIDS Control Society in the Government of Uttar Pradesh. He has more than 27 years of experience in public service. He has served in various departments in different capacities, including Managing Director of UPSIC Kanpur. He was Special Secretary Culture. He has also served as Special Secretary in APC branch and Managing Director UPDESCO in the Department of IT and Electronics. Most recently, he was posted as the District Magistrate of Banda, where he had undertaken an array of innovative initiatives in the field of water, agriculture, social entrepreneurship, etc. His water initiative was listed in the Limca Book of World Records. Dr. Hira Lal has done his BTech in Electrical Engineering from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, Masters in Public Administration, MPA, from Maxwell School, University, USA in 2009 and 10. He has done his PhD in Role of ICT in Achieving Good Governance from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Technical University, Lucknow. I once again welcome you to Chai Pe Charcha, Dr. Hira Lal, and I also welcome our delegates and viewers.
Thank you. Shukriya. Dhanyawad. Aapka. Welcome.
Dr. Hira Lal, as we see, the second wave of COVID pandemic has badly hit the country, and we are expecting a third possible wave. All frontline workers, including doctors, paramedical staff, policemen, health workers, are working 24/7 with the same dedication to save lives of people. We salute them and appreciate their contribution. Your opinion and suggestions and any appeal to the citizens of Uttar Pradesh in these difficult times. Over to you.
Actually, I would like to first of all salute all the stakeholders involved in managing the COVID first phase as well as second phase. My opinion for now and onwards in near future that every person should involve to fight with the COVID phase second, which is outgoing in the outgoing mode, and as expected, as it is in news that third phase. How? Question is how? Already we have learned a lot during phase one, COVID phase two. So whatever we have learned, distancing, masking, and some indigenous treatment like kadha. Kadha is the most favorable and most popular thing to improve the immunity. Likewise, we have to change our lifestyle, early to bed, early to rise, and to maintain the health, to fight with the corona and to be happy, we need to follow the yoga and all such things which is taught in abundance during last 1.5 year. So if we will do all these things, I am of the opinion that we will face third phase third without any loss, without any hardships.
Thank you, Dr. Hiralal. And the Uttar Pradesh government also is undertaking a lot of initiatives and taking very serious steps to avoid the third possible wave of COVID-19. Dr. Hiralal, let's start from the education, your education in this Chai Pe Charcha episode of today's. You completed your BTech in 1990 and started your career as an engineer in NTPC. And around it was 1993. How and when your journey to join civil services actually started? Because you have started studying engineering, then you joined NTPC, and then you became a civil servant. So, who inspired you the most for the civil services examination?
Actually, my father is the sole person who inspired me for this. Actually, I belong to district Basti from in Uttar Pradesh, and I studied till eighth class from the primary schooling. So during that period, my father used to say, because he was veterinary compounder, and we are from farming family, so he was knowing the powers, status, and everything about the IS officer. So during my childhood, he inspired me. He frequently motivated me to go for civil services. To go for the civil services, I adopted the. I did my BTech. After BTech, I got selected in NTPC. I served the NTPC more than 1 year, and then I switched over to civil services. So my journey is like this, and the motivation and inspiration was done by my father.
And we have come to know that recently you have lost your father. In spite of that, you are back to service. You are serving the nation. You are serving your Uttar Pradesh. Salute to you as well. Dr. Hiralal, what are your suggestions to UPSC aspirants, those who want to become an IS officer or IPS officer or come into civil services in any form? What are your suggestions?
Actually, during my days when I was preparing, things were things were offline. Right now, things are online. So, right now, preparation for civil services is easy as compared to my times. So, I would like to advise first, if they should read daily papers, Hindi paper and English paper, and particularly they should focus on the news item of the editorials. They should analyze the editorials and find plus and minus of the news. So this will develop reasoning in them. One thing, newspaper reading and writing. Second thing, they should listen the interview of the successful IS officers on YouTube, and they should note down them to prepare. Thing I would like to advise all the IS officers recently qualified IS cadre, they are online. So any civil services, they should connect via social media and they should request them for mentoring. They will get IS officers as mentor. So that will be a good approach for the preparation. So all three, newspaper reading, listening of interviews given by the successful IS officers, and third is requesting for mentoring. If these three things they will do, their preparation and success both will be in their hand.
Very correctly pointed out, in the age of social media and technology, it is possible when aspirants can follow their role models and the IAS, IPS officer, those who are serving our nation. Dr. Hiralal, you are a social leader and a self-motivated and energetic person who makes continuous efforts to transform socio-economic growth of society. Where do you get such inspiration from?
Actually, as I told you at the very outset, I belong to the rural area. I was born and brought up in a village, remote village, underdeveloped village. So I have seen all the difficulties during my childhood. So all the learnings are in my personality. So whenever and wherever I went and served, I used to ensure that problem should be reduced. So that way, this motivates me to make extra effort so that villagers should put at ease, and their progress should be as expected by the government and as per our moral duty, as our moral duty is also there. So these are the working as a social entrepreneur, as a social leader.
Thank you for sharing your success mantra with us. Dr. Hiralal, you have spent more than 27 years in public service. We have seen you mostly encourage no cost or low cost innovations. Any interesting instance that you want to share with us as a part of your past assignments?
Actually, I'm not going to much past. As a collector, I have done many things. Like I did water conservation campaign. I did election voting percentage enhancement campaign. There are many campaigns we did in Bada as a district magistrate, and in all more than 20 campaigns or events or programs, we followed three formula: how to converge the available resources, funds, and inputs of all the stakeholders, how to take the steps either no cost or low cost, and third, how to take proactive involvement of the all stakeholders. If all these things will be there, we will get 100% success. Reason being, all the stakeholders in all such three conditions take the ownership of the program, and if all the stakeholder, all the participants will take the ownership, we will get the success. So that is the three formula which I used in my governance: no cost, low cost, convergence of available funds or resources or inputs, and proactive involvement of the stakeholders and participants.
Right, and we have seen your initiatives in Banda district as a collector. So, Dr. Hiralal, in your past assignment as district magistrate Banda, you have served there for 1.5 years. What has been your experience of using government resources for convergence, and how did you involve stakeholders on different missions?
Actually, this is a very difficult process to involve the masses. Actually, the situation which is prevailing now, that government will give and they will consume, so we will have to break this psychology, and to break this psychology, officer have to prove in the eye of the citizens, in the eye of the participants, that officer is trying to get the benefit, to see the benefit of the participants. Once this feeling will be generated, they will follow you in toto. Whatever you will say, they will believe you because you have their trust, and they will involve whatever you will say. And that way, all my three formulas which I explained earlier uh, is effective.
Dr. Hiralal, your efforts are bearing fruits in District Banda. We have recently seen that water table has tremendously improved in District Banda, that falls in Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh, and it is known as a drought area. So, what has been your experience of water recharging system and going to the remotest area of Bundelkhand and mobilizing people? Can you share some thoughts about your water campaign over there?
Actually, water crisis problem cannot be solved. Cannot be solved. It is my personal opinion, without involving the masses, because it is the problem of the masses. So, without their involvement, we can't solve this problem properly as per expectation. To involve them, we will have to convince them. We will have to put reasoning them. We will have to mix in them, and we will have to connect with them. So for this, we will have to talk in their own language. We will have to bear their local language, we will have to wear local attire, and we will have to prove that this water crisis, if they will involve, then we will get the solution and it will increase their income. Once they will get convinced that their income will increase, so income increase will motivate them to participate proactively, effectively. So this is a very complicated and this is a complex process, but it worked in the Mada, and I have a very rich experience that how to involve that techniques I have practiced. That's why I did more than 20 innovations. All were successful by public participation, by involving them proactively.
We would like to know those innovations in the towards the end of this program. Let's move to the next question, Dr. Hiralal. You have an outstanding record of successfully running administration in your different positions, and you have used IT-enabled services for providing good governance to the public at large. Your PhD topic was also role of ICT in achieving good governance. So, how do you compare the current technology-led era versus the less technology era 20, 30 years ago? What is your opinion?
Actually, one day, last week, I was reading a newspaper, and that was related to the development of China. So, in that news item, it was written that China progressed region being they are using technology in each and every field, and technologically they are very sound. And as per that article, the India is number one globally in the use of technology and in the knowledge of technology. So, and technology is now in each field of our life changing us. So, technology is a must, and the pace with which we are adopting the technology in different domains, in different activities should increase. COVID has taught us lessons during last 1.5 years that technology is a boon to use in difficult situations. So in normal situations, it will be more boon. So technology is helping a lot, and not only China, every country which is developed one, they one main reason in their development is the adoption of technology. And in Indian condition, I would like to should move and e-agriculture, digitized agriculture. Reason being, India is recognized by the villages, and in villagers are doing the farming. So we should change our focus, or we should concentrate our focus to develop the e-farmers, so that our dream to be developed India should get realized.
Right. And this is the necessity of time as well. Dr. Hiralal, you have received many awards for your innovative works and out of the box thinking. Besides this, you have also achieved many awards by the state government, central government in the sector of water, election, etc. Any close to heart accomplishment that you want to share in last 20 years of your service? Any wow moment that you will always cherish?
Actually, during the MP election 2019, it was in the peak hot season of the summer, and we tried a campaign 90% ho matdaan बांदा बने देश की शान. A very successful event and very successful campaign, and we got prizes from different levels. Our governor awarded us for our that work. Likewise, in water conservation, it is a participatory model. So we have got many awards from different levels for the water conservation in Bada, and result was really amazing. Around more than 2 meters. Recently, a news was there that water level has gone up with public participations without taking no extra money from any level. So that was the one of the best thing, because water crisis is not only in Banda, it is a global problem, and that model is, and it can be replicated all over all along the country to find the expected solution of water crisis.
You transformed the Banda jail and you got appreciation from then DG jail, and a lot of appreciation came from other academia also. People from IIM came for the study. Some journalists and NGOs also appreciated your work. Can you please highlight what kind of works did you undertake in Banda jail, Dr. Hira?
Actually, in Banda jail, it is a rare innovations, and as I told you, so what first of all I did, I started yoga in each barrack. To do this, I trained 3-4 inmates from each barrack, and after learning the yoga, they become yoga trainer, yoga practitioner, or in each barrack. So early at 4 o'clock, there is a yoga in each barrack. So that improved their health. One thing. Then we started weekly cultural program, and that cultural program is organized by the inmates, and viewer and listener both were the inmates, so their negativity in the personality were removed on a week basis. As we go weekly cinema hall, for what? To entertain, to get energized. On the same principle, I organized a 3-4 hours weekly cultural program done by the inmates. Likewise, we did painting, we promoted different type of games in the jail. In all, almost more than 10 activities we conducted there, so inmates can spend their time pro, productively and enjoy the time inside the jail. And we told them that your jail is a village and your barrack is your muhallas. So that feeling we generated, and we engaged them according to their interest in productive use of time. And we got a cause. It was rated #1 jail by a committee constituted by the state government.
Your such small initiatives bring closer public to you. What distincts you from other officers? Because we have seen wherever you have been posted, you are always remembered and recalled by local people and citizens of that particular district or officer of that particular department. Would you like to comment on this?
Actually, I am a egoless man. One thing, I am hard worker. Second thing, since I used to work hard all along my services, so I have knowledge in each and every field. Not only theoretical knowledge, I do have the practical knowledge, and I used to govern by mixing myself in the public. There is no gap at all between me and public is zero, and this I try to follow everywhere. For that, one have to be honest, one have to be hardworking, one have to be tactful to deal with the all types of citizens, all type of questions and queries. So this type of confidence there, but I have developed this confidence all along by serving all along in my service. That's why I used to mix myself into the public, and I govern from inside the public, not sitting in the office.
Your one initiative, Dr. Hiralal, was very much appreciated and liked by the public in your previous assignment when you were district magistrate and collector of Banda district. In the official residence of district magistrate, you use the land for farming and teaching students of agriculture and schools, and by inviting them, showing them what kind of innovative steps can be taken out of those barren land. What was your concept, and how did you mobilize people to bring them in residence of district magistrate of a district?
Actually, if we see, people are not interested in the farming, going away from the farming. And my campus, it is more than 5 hectares, and it was full of bubble tree. So first I cleared it, and then I took the technical guidance of different departments: dairy department, horticulture department, agriculture department, all the departments which are involved in the agriculture, and we tried to make invited the students, public, that you come and see in your with your naked eye that farming is not a business of the loss. It is a profit business, profit work. So I wanted to motivate this way the persons, the citizens of Banda, so that they should get involved in the agriculture. They should convert their agri into agri business to make it profitable, to improve their income. So that was my motive, to convert my campus into a agri business type of farming.
Right. Dr. Hiralal, more recently, just a couple of days ago, you was also appreciated by Niti Aayog. You are honorary advisor of Model Gaon, an NGO that is committed to convert rural and downtrodden villages of Uttar Pradesh into model villages through active public participation. And Uttar Pradesh has more than 97,000 villages. It is a tremendous step, no doubt. And it is also important for India's holistic development. When Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog, Rajiv Kumar, recently praised you and praised your concept, how was the feeling? And please share the aim of the Model Gaon NGO and its future roadmap.
Actually, we did more than 20 innovations in Banda, and all were successful. One my friend, Mr. Munish Gangwarji, who is a retired CGM from NABARD, he is my friend also, and he is my rural development advisor also. So he framed a project of all the innovations done in the Banda, and the project is supported by the CCI Foundation. So he requested me that the project is based on the development and based on the result of the Banda for the mentoring. So I agreed, and in my Saturday, Sunday, when my office is off, I used to devote time for the Model Gaon. And Model Gaon is not top-down process. Model Gaon is based on the bottom-up concept, meaning thereby the concept, process, or anything involved in the Model Gaon is tested and tried on the ground, and it based on the success. One thing. Second thing, the part one is village manifesto. How to make an environment, how to build an environment in each and every villagers for the development. So village manifesto is to create environment, atmosphere for the development in the village involving all the villagers. And second part is the change makers. In the villages, there are so many persons who are of social thought nature. So we will pick them, we will train them, and they will go to the best practices, they will learn the best practices, they will come and implement in their villages. And third is the how to convert agri into agri business, because agri is a loss making activity and agri business is a profit making activity. To convert agri into agri business, FPO is the concept. So in the part third, we are promoting the FPO. So very simple. First part is the village manifesto to make environment of development in a village. Second is the change maker who will drive the uh, development process of the village, governance of the village. And third is FPO, which will convert agri into agri business. So in simple words, simple definition, these are the details of the model now.
Now you are also planning to engage startups and local innovators in this concept. How will they get a boost, and what is your plan to engage startups and innovations in a big way in Model Town?
Actually, as I told you, India needs e-farmers, India needs e-agriculture, India needs digital technology, digital agriculture. So I was studying FAO site. So they are running a program for digital agriculture. So already doing work on it. So without involving startup, agri startup, it is not possible to see the dream realized of Model Gaon. So this is the reason, without technology, without startup, we can't realize our aim, mission and vision of Model Gaon. That's why we are trying to integrate the concept of e-farmer, e-agriculture and into model.
How many villages have adopted the Model Gaon strategy and concept, and what has been your progress so far?
Actually, Model Gaon is a concept. So we started in the January, and we cannot develop a Gaon into Model Gaon for getting for converting a Gaon into Model Gaon. We need at least 10 years. Why I am saying, we have studied many developed villages all across the country in different states. So they are taking more than 10 years. But we are saying not less than 10 years is required for a model now. So we are selling that. We are selling the ideas. We are trying to bring the village and model village concept into the focus, into the discussions, because Gaon and model Gaon is not in focus, not in discussions. So if it is not in focus, not in discussion, then what will happen? Nobody will take care of the Gaon and model Gaon. So first step, how to bring in the limelight the village and its developmental activities are points. We have more than 1500 village manifesto has been created from our side online, one thing, and more than 600 FPOs we have registered, we have connected with us, and we are training them. We are sorting out their problems through webinars, and we are trying to find out the best progressive FPOs to make their a single group, to bring them in the leading roles. and we have the registration facilities, training facilities online on our website. So more than 2500 registrations are done. So this is the journey so far, and the best part of the whole activity is that whoever is coming in touch with our model Gaon idea concept, all are praising a lot. They are encouraging us, they are praising us, and that is the South team led by Sri Munish Gangwarji. This is the situation so far regarding the progress of the model.
There are two things, Dr. Hiralal. One is, if someone wants to get connected with Model Gaon, what is the process? Second thing, being an administrator, you have responsibilities of two departments. You are additional mission director of National Health Mission. You are additional project director of UP State AIDS Control Society. How do you get time to manage these things apart from Model Gaon?
So answer of your first question, how to involve, how to connect with the model Gaon. Okay. So first, to connect with the model Gaon, you number one, you register with the model Gaon online. Everything is online. So registration is first step. Second step, we have all account of social media. Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. So join all the social media. Second step, to be updated, to be connected. Second thing, third thing, you call and discuss and find out the answers of your question. And third thing, we say in the initial stage that you give us 4 or 5 persons from your village to whom you want to involve in the developmental activity of the village. So we will train these fellows whom they will nominate, and from this very initial stage journey will start of model Gaon in that particular village. And your second question, the answer of your second question, in my off period like Sunday, Saturday, since I am in Lucknow, so we have 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday. So I devote my time Saturday and Sunday for the model Gaon, which is my off period. And during working period I used to see the interest of my office, and model Gaon is also the interest of public, and office is also of the interest. But I am managing my period. I used to focus on my official duties, and during the weekend off, Saturday, Sunday, I used to devote my time for the model Gaon, and model Gaon is now my passion. So
I think there was some technical problem and we could not hear Dr. Hiralal
yes,
towards the end. Please continue.
am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Yes, please continue.
Yeah, you were answering to my second question, that how do you manage time between your office and Model Gaon?
During my working days, I used to focus completely on my responsibilities assigned by the departments. And I do have 2 days off. In the off period, my passion, I use devote time for the model. That this way I am managing both the things.
So going forward, what are your priorities for next 5 years, what plans have you on the anvil for Model Gaon as well as the transformation of villages in Uttar Pradesh?
Actually, in the next 5 years, in the coming 5 years, certainly I would like to devote my holidays into Model Gaon. Reason being, the idea is tested and tried. Everybody is liking it. It is endorsed by the Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog, sir, and not so. It is a good idea, practical idea. It is a simple idea, and it is need of the hour. COVID has proved that only village can serve our purpose. So, village and its development is now theme of my life, and I will devote time during my holidays, during my weekends, and we will try to get our mission and vision. We will try our best.
Sir, how has been your journey from Basti to Pantnagar to then USA and again back to Lucknow?
Actually, Basti is my home district, so I was born and brought up in the village Bagdi of Block Saunghat of district Basti. So I studied in Basti. Thereafter, I went Pantnagar University to my BTech, and thereafter I went to do MTech through GATE in IIT BHU, and from there I was selected in NTPC, and during my service in NTPC I was selected in PCS. So after 1 year I resigned from the NTPC and joined PCS, and in 2010 I was promoted as IS officer, and now I am serving as IS officer and currently posted in the medical department, holding two responsibilities, two posts.
Can you highlight the journey of your PhD as well? The topic was very interesting, role of ICT in good governance. So when did you actually started learning about good governance, and what has been your experience from a theory part as well as when you are on ground, your practical part?
Actually, my job is the governance, and everybody is talking from the very beginning how to achieve good governance, सुशासन कैसे मिले. हिंदी में सुशासन कहते हैं, in English we say good governance. So we need to add word good before governance to get good governance. So in administration, good governance word is very popular, and beginning I have learnings in my childhood. I have seen the hardships in my childhood. So to add the tips, to reduce hardships, I used to take extra steps wherever I got the responsibility to serve the people, to serve the society. So my this extra action, extra activity, or we can say I do the same thing differently. This is I acquired in my childhood, and this give me the word good to add before the word good governance. So I tried to take this topic, how governance offline and online is comparable. So I compared how by making the things online from offline, governance has improved or reduced. That was the topic of my PhD. With using the digital technology, the governance has improved. This is the finding of my PhD research. By using more and more technology, by making offline into online, governance will improve. This is the finding of the PhD topic, my PhD research.
Sir, when we see a lot of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, cloud, IoT are there, AI, AR, ML, lot of emerging technologies. So what is the future of governance do you see with such pandemic conditions, situations, unprecedented times coming straight to our lives for last 1.5 years? How has governance transformed over the last few years, and what is the future of governance that you see?
Actually, the adoption of technology in different activities, different programs is slow. I am not satisfied at my personal level. Data management, data technology, AI, ML, cloud, all these are big resources and big hand our to improve the efficiency of the government. From governance to good governance, now a third term has been coined and discussion is going on. Smart governance. When we will start using data analysis, data technology, AI, ML, and all that in district level administration, our governance will move from good governance to smart governance. COVID has taught us and COVID has convinced us that technology is very helpful in odd conditions, in disastrous situations. So we are mentally make up that technology can be adopted at a faster rate, and we should speed up our adoption speed of technology to improve the efficiency of the governance. That is my view.
Thank you, Dr. Hiralal. Since we are almost at the end of the today's show, would you like to give any message to the youth of our country? Am I audible, Dr. Hiralal?
Yes. Again, question is not audible.
Yeah. So we are almost at the end of the today's Chai Pe Charcha show. Would you like to give any message for the youth of our country?
For youth of our country, I would like to suggest them, and my message for them is to think innovatively and try to make social media technology as a tool to realize the mission, aim, and vision of the life. Social media technology in a limited manner. So, as I told you, how to prepare for civil services with the help of technology. Likewise, if youth can use the potential of technology in all activities of their life, they can get amazing results. So this is my message. Use the technology in proper way in all fields of their life to reach the.
Thank you, Dr. Hiralal. And it was really a great interaction with you. Our sincere thanks to you for accepting our invitation and making today's show wonderful. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact with the masses and people, and you also and your team for inviting me for this conversation and interview. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
For
Dhanyavad.
the viewers, please keep watching ET Government Chai Pe Charcha every Friday at 4 p.m. Chai Pe Charcha is an interactive program with bureaucrats and high achievers in diverse fields. The high impact live video show highlights the journey into professional life, likes and dislikes in their career, apart from their contribution towards the society and nation building besides accomplishments. Each week, we present a new guest and discuss interesting topics that matter. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arpit, and thank you for your team also. Please convey my good message to your team also. Thank you.